went up to the press area to get an understanding of what we're watching. This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelensky out of the White House.
Really?
His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelensky's body language, shrugging and eye rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful.
Wow.
And the president feels that Zelensky is not ready for peace, and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now. And Zelensky is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch.
Is this the first time that a dignitary has been kicked out of the White House? I don't know. Please let me know in the comments section. But this is crazy. I know that you guys in the comments section, especially those of you who are more not fully on the side of Trump, will say, yes, this is the thing that we've been saying about Trump. He's not friendly and so on. But when you come to someone's house, you behave yourself accordingly, especially if that someone has been bankrolling your war for almost 3 years, and you need them to help you figure out a peace process or figure out how they can keep supporting you. You don't come in there and disrespect them. That's common human behavior. So, that's what I think.
This is really pretty incredible. We see the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us one
Zelensky's
moment.
SUV.
If you look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Mr. President, is the deal off?
He was kicked out of the White House.
Tell us what happened.
He's been told to go home. This is okay. Trump did not come to say goodbye.
Did you sign the minerals deal? Did you sign the minerals deal? Why were you so disrespectful to the president?
So we're going to read Trump's post and hear from Trump himself. So Trump says, "We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations." Okay, so basically what Trump got from this was Zelensky was maybe asking for too much, simply because he felt that America was supporting Ukraine and they could do whatever they liked and America would back them. So I guess that's what this means. Let me know in the comment section if I'm misreading this. I don't want advantage, I want peace. And that's important. Trump has said this again and again. He wants the dying to stop. And for someone to want to use the US as a pawn in a game that involves human lives, Trump has said he doesn't want any part of it. And so he continues, he disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he's ready for peace. Wow. That is strong.
You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" It doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America. And for the good of the world, I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred.
Wow.
And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval?
This is the first time that I'm ever seeing an exchange like this of a foreign president arguing back and forth with the president and his vice president in front of the cameras. And this is part of what I've been talking about politicians who don't understand the art of negotiation. He is the weaker party in this situation, and he is trying to grandstand in front of the cameras to tell the world that he is a bigger person and he is stronger than he really is. So I think this is going to end really, really badly for Ukraine if he continues down this path, because here's what I predict will happen. The U.S. is going to withdraw aid to Ukraine. And then the U.S. is going to, behind that, step away from NATO. Without the U.S. funding NATO, NATO is severely underfinanced, and they will struggle to continue to prosecute their war against Russia. And then the UN will turn around and say how the U.S. has been propping up Putin by withdrawing aid from Ukraine, and the media is going to do the same, and so on. And some people will say, well, Trump shouldn't have gone in front of the cameras to call Zelensky a dictator. Well, when you analyze what Trump said, all right, Trump can say whatever he wants to say. He makes an observation, he says it. It is, now the burden of proof rests on the other person to say, look, I'm not a dictator, and here, let me explain that. Not to come into his house and start a fight in front of the cameras. Let's keep going.
Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influenced.
We're going to feel very...
Dude, no wonder you got kicked out of the White House. I'm eager to see what CNN says. Okay. This reminds me of a proverb that says that a soft answer turns away wrath. And if Zelensky's goal was to bring the U.S. government on side to continue to support what they are doing to keep Russia out of Ukraine and to equally give them the nod to join NATO, this was not how to do it. He basically has provoked the United States, and the United States says, look, we want peace, but right now we have no allies. For the past 3 to 4 years, the United States has postured as an ally to Ukraine. But by doing this, they just lost an ally. All the United States is going to be posturing as right now is a peace broker, not an ally. So that ends all the aid, all the weapons, all the support, and the backing for them to join NATO.
Very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thank you.
Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. You haven't been alone. You've had the support of the EU. You've had weapons being shipped to you from the United States and other countries. You have not been alone. So that is not true. If Ukraine by itself were to try to fight a war with Russia without the international support that they have enjoyed, they would have lost a long time ago. That will be my prediction. Why? Because if Russia really wanted to flatten Ukraine, it wouldn't be a battle. It wouldn't be an infantry battle. It would be more of missiles flying and just flattening the entire country. So this is heartbreaking because people are losing their lives. People have lost their homes, and there's a quote in Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, that war is it Game of Thrones or Troy? I think I'm mixing my references, but let me know in the comment section which reference I am using. War is old people talking and young people dying. I think is one of the two. So please let me know in the comment section which reference is it. In these days, war is politicians talking and the common man dying. And it's sad that this has come to this. Let's wrap this up, and then you let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
You haven't been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You haven't been
not only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment.
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
Okay?
days, I heard it from
I
Putin.
said
In
that.
3 days. This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful.
I agree with Trump on this. We haven't seen, maybe this has happened in the past, but the American people and other people like me who don't live in America haven't seen this sort of negotiation. And this reminds me of the session that Trump had with Nancy Pelosi in the Oval, with the other congressman, I can't remember his name right now, Chuck Schumer, yeah. And they were talking about shutting down the government, and the press was there recording everything, and they were trying to make it sound like Trump was the problem, but they were showing their willingness to shut down the government simply because they would not negotiate a deal with Trump on an issue. And everyone saw that. And yes, there will be people who just have TDS. They just hate Trump and they don't want to agree with anything he has to say. But this is a long video. And it's important for the world to see how this went from a country having an ally in a peace process to a country is essentially standing alone and potentially threatening the cohesion within NATO, because NATO is going to continue to back Ukraine and Zelensky, and Trump is going to say we're going to pull out of NATO. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. Let me know, down the line if when I'm wrong, or if I'm wrong, tell me I was wrong about this prediction, and then the press is going to attack Trump and say it was all his fault. But here's the thing: if you're negotiating peace, you don't come as an aggressor. You need to come to the table and try to negotiate the best you can with the cards you have. Russia has cards. Ukraine has some cards. The United States of America holds some of the cards that Ukraine needs, because Ukraine has been given weapons from the United States. And so they need the United States to be on side within the peace process, but they can't afford to be attacking the United States.
You don't have the cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers.
Don't- don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it, so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that
is
was with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful.
Wow. Did you catch that gesture? There was this look. Watch Zelensky's eye movement when Trump makes that statement.
And Trump gave javelins.
Here, there, it was like, whatever. That was very disrespectful. Let's keep going.
You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden, because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through
again. So I have comments coming in about the other Trump video that I have that crossed 1 million views, and they keep saying that Trump keeps talking about respect, and what he really means is fear. Look, I know that most of those comments are bots, so I don't bother responding to them or even thinking about them much. But you see this posture. Okay, now you have the UK had a press conference with the Prime Minister of the UK had a press conference with Donald Trump. The Prime Minister of the UK actively sent people to come over to the United States to campaign on the behalf of the Democrat Party. This is a government that had actively shown their outright support for the opposition. And I think they still do show their support for the opposition, but they need to make a deal. And they came to the table, they came into the Oval Office, they had a conversation, they were respectful, and they were able to, have a press conference that was not contentious in any way. And I think I've released that video. Now, you have this situation, and the way it feels, and I will stand corrected, but the way it feels, it's almost like the Ukraine feels entitled to the protection of the United States and of NATO. It's either that, or there are people in the background, nudging Ukraine down this path, or at least the president of Ukraine down this path, to do this, to continue to instigate conflict that eventually the world will say, oh, we can't ignore it, we have to get involved. And if the United States doesn't get involved, they say, oh, look, the United States is being mean and doesn't want to help. And then there'll be demonstrations in the streets, people are dying, you don't care, send weapons or send people and so on. I mean, you can see this coming a mile away. And I don't see why he wouldn't take a more reasonable posture in this circumstance.
Hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. Mm-hmm. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. Yeah. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened, but he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy, and I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave, but you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out.
That's the end of the video. Guys, what do you think of these clips? We started out with the news report. We read President Trump's truth post, and we have seen the full, at least as much as we have in this clip, the actual footage. And what do you think? Was Zelensky disrespectful? You can see the frozen look on his face. Was he disrespectful? Did Trump show a lot of grace, or did Trump trigger him to become the way he is? Or is Zelensky being empowered by a certain group to try to get them further along in this conflict with Russia in order to justify a full an all-out war against Russia? There are documents online that show how there's a lot of interest in the minerals in Russia, and how Putin is the person that is keeping the foreign interests in those minerals from happening, and how the war with Ukraine was instigated in order to trigger a war that would unseat Putin and then give these international players access to the resources in Russia. All of that they're all theories. I don't want to call them conspiracy theories, but they are theories, because when there's this course online, you can look for it, called game theory. Game theory basically is about it's almost like chess. You're going to be looking at moves and counter moves, and you need to plan so many moves ahead. And many people who operate as diplomats actually engage in game theory, especially in espionage. Let me know what you think of this clip and my take on this video. It's a really long video, and it's really important that we see the makings of either a final peace process in the Baltic, or we're going to be seeing more bloodshed and a lot of conversations that are heated and unpleasant happening in the media. Don't forget to use the link in the show notes to listen to the book, Dismantling America. Use that link to create a free account on Audible and listen to the book for yourself, to learn how the administrative state has implemented horrible policies to destroy America. And YouTube believes that this video will be a great one for you to watch next.